who else was supposed to be on the stream?
Infinity.
Let's see. I also invited Infinity, Al, and Random Star Wars fan.
Random.
I don't know if
Star Wars
Al
fan.
would
Who
get
else?
online though.
Yeah, she's. That's what I was thinking. She's probably not going to come
Al.
here. So
Yeah, she just
she's
said she's
probably
not able
busy.
to make it today.
It was cool talking to her on
Where has been Star Wars fan? Because I haven't. It seems like we haven't heard from him in the last 2 months or so. Two or three months.
This is my first.
Yeah, he's on Poppedia.
right now,
I mean, not right now, but he's been on there recently.
yeah, I don't think he's going to come on here either.
Because I noticed that he's only been on one stream so far in the last.
Yeah, he
2-3
did
months.
message me saying he hopes, but I mean, he's not going to make it right now because he didn't get the link to this one.
Oh.
So what do you guys think is like the most popular social media of this decade?
Facebook probably. I mean, I know it's not. I know it's been declining with young people, but it's still.
I would say.
Yeah, you're correct. Actually, yeah, because actually I was on that thread this week, but actually you have to look at the demographics. See, you have the statistics for the social media sites just for the young demographic, and then you have the overall demographic in all ages for all the social media sites. So when it comes to the overall demographics, Facebook is still the most used one. But
and not only that, but they've been accused of running a monopoly by some senators.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, I mean, I remember Gary Vaynerchuk said that, like this: Facebook is still the world, but Instagram and like Snapchat still like part of the world. You know, it's like that.
Yeah, Instagram and Snapchat are the most popular for the young demographic. It's shifted, obviously, but the quintessential social media site of this decade is Twitter, and I explained that on that thread.
Yeah,
you definitely.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
That, I mean, you also argue for stuff that happened before then, but Trump, you know, now he frequently uses, and he's the president of the United States. A lot of the stuff he brings up on Twitter.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, did you see what he put in bold caps that time?
Yeah, to the Iranian President Rouhani.
Yeah, he was like, I think yep, exactly. Yeah, you actually brought it up on that thread in the politics section too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a tweet that the president of the United States should be having, regardless of if it's an adversary or not. You know.
Exactly. Do you realize how dangerous and creepy it is that we have a president who just tweets crazy stuff all the time, and he doesn't care who he does it to at all?
That's because he's stupid.
Yeah.
Even my friends at work, even they think he's stupid.
I mean, that's surprising.
Yeah.
I will never forget November 9th, 2016.
Yeah, me either.
I don't think any
of
us would like. That's like a day. That's the kind of day that a Gen Z is going to remember. That most Gen Z is going to remember.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: in Georgia, in the rural, conservative areas in Georgia, it's the complete opposite. Like, it's conservative people. Like, it's more. Or have the authority. It seems like if you're a liberal in Georgia, you feel like the left out person, unlike in California, where it's majority liberal people over there, or even up north in New York or New Jersey. Like here in Georgia, where it's more rural and conservative areas, it's like if you're the one left wing or one liberal person there, it's like you're surrounded with all these conservative.
Yeah, that's not where you live though, because Atlanta is a super liberal.
Yeah, well, that's Atlanta.
Yeah, with the exception of Atlanta, but outside of Atlanta, the rest of Georgia is like just a bunch of hardcore Trump supporters and stuff.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, Georgia is Georgia is technically the deep south. I mean,
Georgia is red. Oh yeah, Georgia is red. Like
because Georgia is part of deep south, so I would expect to be like conservative, Trump supporter. I mean, sure, that's like.
Well,
because
expect those Trump supporters to be outraged in the next few months because if Democrats keep this up and actually keep a winning look on their face, Trump supporters are not going to be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's the same thing kind of where I live at in Q, because I live in North Carolina, and it's kind of like that. Because I live in a rural area, and it's very, and pretty much the white people in that area are pretty, like, very conservative, very, like, right wing.
I'm not sure about where I live.
Oh, yeah.
You're in New Jersey, though, so
it's probably mixed because you live in South Jersey. That's kind of more conservative part of Jersey compared to like.
Well, you're talking about between Trump and Clinton. I'm pretty sure. And she says she goes to she lives in the Philly area too.
Yeah, but South Jersey is kind of like more. It's
Who,
kind
me?
of yeah.
I
South
mean,
Jersey.
like I don't live in Philly though.
But yeah, you're close to it though.
Yeah, but like
There is
next to
a
it, like near it.
Yeah, there's a part of New Jersey that I didn't realize is only like an hour and a half away from Philly, and I was like shocked to realize that because I thought Jersey was closer to New York, but of course there are different parts of Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey's a big.
Like
Jersey,
I'm not like where I'm like right next to Pennsylvania. Like you can literally, I could literally drive there and be there in like 2 hours.
Jersey is the most densely populated state. I mean, it's the third smallest. I mean, it's like the fourth smallest actually. But
wait, what is
New Jersey in terms of a area?
Yeah.
Like only Connecticut, Delaware, and Rhode Island are smaller, but
oh dang, Jersey's real tiny.
I believe it's the 11th most populous.
Connecticut is one of the smallest states.
Yeah,
it's pretty small. Yeah, but
mostly the New England and
the Mid-Atlantic,
as well as Maryland and Delaware.
Yeah. But yeah, like
I'm aware. I was aware that Delaware was small, but I wasn't aware that Maryland that was actually that small too.
Yeah,
wait, Delaware smaller than New Jersey?
Oh, it's way smaller. Like Delaware, you get to.
Actually, I'm stupid.
Yeah,
Delaware,
I'm pretty sure I could even run across Delaware.
Yeah, Delaware's really small.
Yeah, I find
but Rhode Island is small as fuck. Like it's
I find it so
than
weird.
Atom.
You know, when I think of the biggest cities in Pennsylvania, I think of Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. But the thing is that Pittsburgh is like in a completely different part of Pennsylvania. It's like way out west. And it's like if you live in like a part of New Jersey, it's like you're way closer to Philly than Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh is like way closer
to
Ohio.
It's close to Ohio. There, so
yeah.
New Jersey. But New Jersey, people forget about New Jersey. People forget about South Jersey. People always assume New Jersey is like New York-ish. People forget that this part of New Jersey.
I mean, I live in a township.
People forget that New Jersey, part of New Jersey is like, more like country, more like, slow sort of pace. People assume New Jersey is like,
People in New Jersey are like fast paced. Like Like when I went to Georgia, like one thing I've noticed is that people there are like a lot more like laid back than they are.
Compared to Georgia, I mean it's fast.
I totally agree with that, Rainbows, because when I visited New York, everybody was just rushy over there.
Exactly, that's how it's like here.
Rushy with the New York Jersey accent,
Yeah, but
especially the stereotypical accent of New York and New Jersey. Like, yeah. Even though people are more laid back in Georgia, the political views completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but like Jersey, think about Jersey. People forget about like like Raymond said, Jersey is more fast paced than like Georgia, but like it's like it's not as fast paced as people think it is. Like because like once you get close to Delaware, it's very like country, very like it's very colonial. It reminds you of like the colonial period, very country, very Quaker-ish. Like once you get close to like the more very Quaker-ish, it's like more rural.
Like when I went to Georgia, like for some reason, like I don't know how to explain it, but I just got like a different vibe than I was in like New Jersey. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because it's also in a different region of the country. You have to remember that. Like the U.S. is a very diverse country when it comes to different regions. Like
you have so many. It's like 7 regions in the U.S. Like 7.
Yeah, which is why I also say, even I did this kind of tongue in cheek, suggested to Nerdy Gamer since he lives on pretty much one corner of the country in San Diego, much the southwest corner. I suggested maybe taking a road trip up to the northeast corner in Maine, even though that'd be very expensive. But
I would definitely.
I've never been to any West.
If I were to be in Maine.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are so Catholic.
Maine is like the whitest state.
It is.
I think so too, as well as Vermont and New Hampshire.
Yeah,
and
those.
probably Wyoming, Montana, and probably and probably Oregon and Washington,
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
as
the
well as
northern
Idaho. I
states
think.
are otherwise because Wyoming actually has a. I mean, it is also mostly white, but it also has a bit of a Hispanic population there too.
Yeah, I mean, I watched an episode of Catfish. It was a black girl in Wyoming getting catfish. So it is actually black people that live in Wyoming stalking me.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of weird, like how I got like a different vibe, even though I'm still in the same country with the same
Yeah,
shitty
that's
Well,
president.
if you live in the U.S., it shouldn't surprise you because, like I said, the
U.S. is a big
U.S. has
country.
many different
I mean, you
vibes.
could travel like that's how people from like even if you travel to like you get to South Jersey. If you go to like Upper New Jersey, I would try to get a different vibe as well, like New York or like
I've never been to California my whole life, and when I look at photos and like videos and clips of California, even without going there, it looks like a completely different
yeah,
vibe on the outside. Just the way the roads are built and the
palm
way the
Yeah, I've
trees.
never been to
stores are.
California before, but I want to go there like one day.
Heck yeah, bro.
Even though it's like probably expensive.
Yeah,
I mean, thing is that that if you go to
Don't let
California,
that don't let don't let that get
don't
don't
have to
let
go
that get
to-
to you.
to a
You'll find a
different
way.
specific like the places in California. Yeah, that is my favorite place to visit is the Tahoe area.
yeah, California. Oh, what are you saying, Captain?
Because if you go to a lot of the cities, that's where you have to. That's where your experience may not be at. Specifically in LA, where I've been recently. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of because over in LA, there's a lot of it's pretty trashy, especially on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Oh yeah, it's more smoke. Yeah, I mean California. I would definitely love to visit there.
Yeah,
Like,
is LA like worth visiting, like compared to like a New York or a Boston or let's
Definitely,
say?
no, I wouldn't say.
Would y'all rather live in California or New
I
York?
actually think that San Diego would be a better place to visit because I mean there's SeaWorld there, they have Old Town Mexico
I
there.
guess it depends on your personality. Like LA is more for like being into like celebrity culture. If you're into, like,
Yeah, I totally agree. For an
Because I see those states
outsider,
get
for an
compared
outsider,
a
it definitely
lot.
depends on one's personality. I mean, you have those who would love to go to California, but most likely in their mind they just want to visit LA and not think about SF, SD,
yeah.
or Fresno,
If you're into like
Sacramento.
hippie culture, SF is definitely. If you're into like more like artsy type of person,
Yeah.
I guess Fresco would be more
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah,
If
what do you think of like Sacramento or San Francisco or like the Oakland area? Like, is that like a better place to visit than LA? Like,
Well, I did hear it. I mean, I know this is from a right-wing source, but he was quoting NBC that in San Francisco, there's a lot of the feces on the ground.
for real, like dog poo or like human poo.
He didn't specify, but
Oh, because if it's human poo, then I'm like,
Oh, really? You mean literally? You mean there are people out there in public that actually take a dump?
I mean, there's a lot of homeless people I heard in this SF. So
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's most
Yeah,
definitely.
we have a huge homeless population here. Like it's so bad. Like they're literally downtown, and they will use the bathroom. Like just because they have nowhere to go.
dang, that's sad.
Oh,
But,
I haven't told y'all this, but here in my state, it's illegal to pump your own gas.
Oh yeah, she told me this.
What?
Yeah, you have someone do it for you.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
New Jersey's the only state that does this, which is weird. Because I
No, there was another state. Oh, you know what? Just speaking of that, there was another state that also had it like that too. I think it was either Oregon or Washington.
Yeah, it was Oregon.
Yeah, but they finally can finally do it by themselves.
Yeah,
Wait, so-
we're the only state that it's illegal to pump your own gas.
so like when you go to a gas station, someone does it for you.
Yeah.
In some people's minds, that would actually be like an advantage because there are many people who are like too lazy to put in the gas themselves. So
yeah,
Or they're too scared.
Yeah, but
so
like,
get
for,
the gas all over
like
themselves, and some guy will walk by with a lighter.
yeah.
Yeah.
outsiders though, like I bet like for people like in like other states, like it'd probably be like weird and uncomfortable because they're just not used to it.
But I also know that a lot of people in Jersey, because I know a lot of people do, but also a lot of people don't in Jersey have cars because they're close to Philly and New York. A lot of them take the subway trains.
Yeah, like the NC, like the New Jersey Transit and stuff like that. Yeah.
And by the way, one topic I want to talk about about since we left the internet discussion that we don't talk about. We want to talk about different countries that you want to visit.
Again, Jamaica was the only one I've ever visited my whole life. So, like, the next country I would want to visit, I would say it would be between Canada or Japan.
Yeah, for me, Japan is somewhat of my first choice. But the only problem with Japan is that you'd have to learn Japanese.
Exactly. That's why I want to visit like Canada.
Because over in Europe, even though they have different languages, you can get by pretty easily with speaking English. But I heard it's very hard to do that in Japan.
Yeah, because Japan is so like Asian, like it's so.
They're very nationalistic.
Yeah, I mean, when I say Japan, I mean like Tokyo, like because Tokyo. Yeah, I should have said Tokyo because Tokyo, that would be the place in Japan, the only place in Japan I'd be interested.
But it'd be very crowded. It's like New York times 10. Like it's like New York on steroids. I heard like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my dad visited there back in 2004, and like he talked about like how ahead of the times the technology was and everything, and he had a really good time there. But he was there for his job, I think, if I remember correctly. But it was
how did he speak Japanese there?
Like, say that again.
How old did he get by? I mean, how much Japanese did he know? And did he get by if he didn't know?
Actually, he did. He was able to find some folks who knew English, so he got by, because a lot of folks in foreign countries, they learn multiple languages unlike we do, so
yeah, that's true, because I know for us, I mean we learn Spanish in like school and whatever, but we don't actually like apply to our lives for the most part because everybody speaks our language.
Spanish is like, I don't know if like being the person used to English your whole life, would learning Spanish be tougher, or someone being used to Spanish their whole life would learning English be tougher? Like, going from Spanish to English be tougher than going from English to Spanish? Like,
I could see that because English we use a lot of more words in our sentence. We use longer sentences than Spanish.
I noticed that like when I was learning Spanish, like there were so many. See, one thing a lot of people tend to forget is that languages don't literally translate. I think, and that's why when you go like Google Translate, it's always inaccurate because Google Translate will act like it literally translate, but it doesn't. So like, you know how you got like slang language, or you have English, but you have different types of English too. Like you have different cultures who will speak English in a different way. It's the same way with Spanish too. You got like people in like Latino countries who speak Spanish a certain way, but then you got people who in Spain who speak Spanish a different way as well.
Spanish
and not only that, but they also use different words. That's another thing. Because the whole time I was taking Spanish, my teacher mentioned that people from Spain and people from all of Latin America, not only do they speak Spanish differently, but they also say different words. Like, for instance, in Latin American countries, they say like nosotros, and in Spain they say vosotros. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I learned about that in.
Yeah, I learned that too.
Yeah. Like, I'll admit, the Spanish teacher I had she was a pretty shitty teacher. She was also a white people shouldn't be teaching Spanish. I'm just kidding, but I wasn't able to learn too much Spanish because the teacher there, and the only reason why I stayed in that class is because there were some good looking girls in that class. But yeah, I didn't. I tried learning Spanish, but
you're too white.
Yeah, I took Spanish 1 and 2.
His coach had poor Portuguese, so he can learn.
Yeah, I took Spanish 1 and 2 my sophomore year of high school. My Spanish 2 teacher was the finest looking Colombian ever, and she was really, really tall. Well, she was tall in general, but she actually went to my high school too, and she graduated in 2001.
As a student,
so like when she taught us at the time. Let me see.
She was only like 20. She was in her 20s when she taught you. Dang.
Late 20s. Because see, if she graduated in 2001, that means she was 29 when she was teaching us at the time. Yeah, because that was in spring 2012.
Oh, so she immigrated to Columbia to Georgia.
Well, I'm not sure, but like I know she went to my high school too, and she graduated again in 01. So like she was. But that was actually her last year too. Like she moved and did something else after that year. So thankfully I had her right before, and it was a really fun class. Like it was actually not the biggest class, but like it was.
Yeah.
And we talked a lot in there, and it was pretty easy for us.
pretty
So,
dope.
but she was really, really, really fun.
'Cause I had a Colombian Spanish teacher too in my 10th grade year. Yeah, she was short, and she spoke English. She said she had family from England and stuff like that, and how her family's like Colombia is very diverse. You have like black people there, white people, Asians. It's very diverse, and so like that's how like most of Latin America is. Like you just think assuming Latin America.
Yeah,
Spanish,
when it comes to Latinos, I like Dominicans. I definitely like Dominicans. They're like one of my favorites too, of course. And there's people in my mom's side of the family who get confused for being Dominicans, but the fact of the matter is, I mean, Dominicans have a lot of African features in them too. So you know,
yeah.
it's like Dominicans is like the blackest Latino race. Like
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, because a lot of them were brought over to the island from Africa as slaves.
Yeah,
Dominicans. But yeah, you got the Dominican Republic, and then you got the Brazilians. The Brazilians, you got all kinds of Brazilians too. Like you know.
Yeah, the black Brazilians, they speak Portuguese. That's the only thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot to say that too. And here's another thing. A lot of people assume everybody from the Latino region or Latin America speaks Spanish. That is not true because Brazilians are Latinos, but they speak Portuguese, so they're not Hispanic.
Yeah, also I don't know if you count this as but in Belize, the country that's right between Mexico and Guatemala, they speak English there.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's cool. And see, and then Spain, when it comes to Spain, they're Hispanic, but they're not Latino because they're from Europe.
Yeah, there was actually this one video from this user called Wonder Why. He talked about the difference between Hispanic and Latino. Basically, he said that Hispanic includes most of Latin America except Brazil and Spain, while Latino is the opposite, where Brazil is included but Spain isn't.
Yeah, that's how it is.
It's good for a Latin American, but he also argued that the lines are pretty blurry because he also make a case for Quebec being a part of Latin America because France is a Latin language.
Oh yeah,
French.
Yeah, and so is Italian.
Yeah, Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian, and Romanian.
So
yeah, and that's because they're all like Romance languages.
Yeah, so Skittle Cats could be considered Latin.
But my favorite Latina girls are, to me, is between the Dominicans or the Colombians. Like don't personally, Brazilians are cool too, and Mexicans. But like I think Colombians and Dominicans are the best in my opinion. What do you think, Nerdy? Who are your favorite Latina girls? Like,
oh man, this is so tough because over the years I've actually seen so many types, not just Mexicans, but so many types.
Yeah.
So it's hard to pick right now.
Yeah, for me, it'd be Venezuelans.
Oh wow.
Me, say Brazilians too. I mean NQ because but the thing about Brazilians, you don't really see them. I guess it depends where you live at because I don't really see that many Brazilians. I haven't really met that many. The most Hispanics I met, most Latinos I met were mostly like Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Mexicans. I met a few Colombians. That's also debate. Also, Cuba and Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic are also kind of debatable if they're Latin America or not because they're part of Caribbean. Captain, they also kind of like.
Yeah. They're talking about. You said Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic.
Yeah,
they also kind of Latin America because basically when they say America, they're not talking about specifically the whole continent, but they're talking about the New World.
I know.
Basically,
mainly South and Central America. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about the Venezuelan girls either, because they do look really nice, Captain. You're on point with that. I just still like the Colombians and the Dominicans. I don't know why, but
you could technically say Trinidadians are Hispanic because they speak Spanish. Trinidad people. even though they identify as West Indians, but Trinidad.
Yeah, this sort of reminds me. I can't believe this got on my head now. Because I remember MQG saying on a Personality Cafe how he prefers that ass over boobs.
Oh, you said that? Dang, MQG. Yeah, you from the
And that
South.
inspired me to make a throw on Personality Cafe right after that.
Yeah, from Georgia.
All my life, I don't know if this is a correlation without causation, but all my life it seemed that between the races, it always seemed like blacks were more interested in ass, while whites more interested in tits.
Yeah, I know.
You could probably say that. You could probably say that. And it's probably something I've noticed over the years too, because every single time, I don't know if it's just me, but have you guys noticed in a lot of hip hop songs they seem to talk about that more?
Yeah, it's like the booty.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see MQG saying booty because because he is from Georgia. Georgia's known for big booty chick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true though. Like they said, Georgia is known for like the biggest.
Yeah, like you know what frustrates me though, because the thing is, you find like girls with natural boobs, like natural like ass, like it comes from like people with more mixed races or like people who are darker, but it's like, and I no offense to anyone on here, I'm just being serious here, but you notice like back in the 90s, like, because see, in this day and time, people are accepting curves way more now than they did back then. But
Yeah.
back in the 80s and 90s, the most popular models, American models, were like real skinny, and for some reason I could never understood that why the skinniest girls had the most recognition. You know what I'm saying? Like think about who's one of those 90s models. What's her name? Pamela Anderson.
Oh, I was say Tyra Banks, but never mind.
Pamela Anderson? Pamela?
Yeah.
But yeah,
she was one of them, and then you had other ones too, but they were all skinny, and I'm like, I feel like skinny is okay if you're on a diet and all, but like not like unhealthy skinny. I don't really like
anorexic.
Yeah, like anorexic.
Yeah, I don't like.
Were they skinny? Like were they skinny to the were they skinny to the point where they actually? What I mean when it comes to skinny, do you mean were they skinny by like they actually had like small booties and breasts, or was it like skinny in terms of like body size?
That's a good question, because see, because
there's girls out there that they're literally so skinny they don't have anything, like everything is so small.
Yeah, because like you got the skinny that looks healthy, and they still have like really good curves. It's about the like height to waist and hip ratio. It's like the waist and hip ratio that matters most. Like
I wish
body type.
Spyro K was here, he would love this topic right now, because remember say you want to talk about girls.
That's another topic I brought up in that thread. Well, that someone else brought up that seemingly, and this could be either evolutionary or anything, but they say that black males are usually more attracted to a bit of heavier girls, while whites be more attracted to skinnier. Yeah. Because one of the biggest forms of interracial dating is a white male Asian female, and Asian females are usually a lot skinnier and smaller.
Yeah.
Actually, it depends.
True. And then in terms of the black and white people, all the black guys when I go check out white chicks, they seem to go up to the fatter kind most of the time.
Yeah, the ones with more meat in their bones. Yeah.
And see, this is the weird thing about Latinos. People consider Latinos as basically not because they're white, because they're still mixed race, but you could say that Latinos are like white people with black features. Like color-wise, they're like white, but like feature-wise, they're black.
Latinos are a mix between whites and usually a mix between whites and Native American. At least most of them are.
I know Mexicans are like mestizo. Yeah, that's pretty much white Native American. Yeah,
mestizo is like that. Yeah, that's white and Native American.
Yeah,
that's how.
And then Zambo is black and Native American, and then you got mulatto.
That's how it's actually for most Hispanics. Like some are more Native American than others, especially the closer you get to the equator.
Yeah, and some will have more African descent, like Dominicans, like Colombians. They more Afro descent. Yeah. But yeah, it is kind of interesting. Yeah, I guess again, racial wise, like black men, we are more infatuated with like bigger women.
Well, see,
Yeah.
the thing is that it wasn't. It's not just that way for me. Now it just came natural to me. Like it just came natural to me. It wasn't because of music or anything. It just came natural to me. I just became more attracted to women, and it doesn't matter who you are. It could be white, black, purple, yellow, anybody. But like
Purple, purple.
anybody, but like Asian, because there are Asian girls who are like who have curves too. But like
Yeah, I see them. Because Asian girls are
it's
usually known for being like,
like the Mia Kane girl I had on my banner for a little bit. Like she's Asian too. She's Asian, and she has a lot of
yeah. Oh yeah,
curves.
another interracial. Speaking of that, Catherine, another thing that I'm starting to see more black guys date Korean girls. Like Korean girls seem to be attracted to like black men. I see a
Oh,
lot.
Yeah.
Like black guy, like I've seen like
I know Grace is dating Cal and he's black.
Wait,
Yeah.
I thought you said he
Grace
was
is
Middle Eastern.
Korean.
Wait, I thought you said he was Middle Eastern.
Yeah, he is. But like he's like
yes,
darker skinned.
uh,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's
So,
another
right,
thing
I knew you
about
weren't
Middle
taking
Eastern
it to
people.
be,
They can also be lighter and dark.
yeah.
yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of Korean girls date black guys. Not, I mean nowadays. So
Yeah.
now you're going to start seeing more. Because now you're going to start seeing more like Malaysians, kids come
Yeah.
out. Malaysians, black Asian people.
I actually knew somebody like that. Like I knew somebody who was black and Asian, and it seemed like she was like all black, but her face was like Asian.
Uh,
oh, have y'all heard of
Yeah,
Candace Patton?
No.
probably
She,
not.
she she's on the Flash. Just search her up. She's like half black and half Asian, but it's like she leans more towards black in my opinion. I would say she's like 60% black and 40% Asian,
uh,
basically.
yeah.
Search Candace Patton.
Yeah, right now with the right now you're seeing most of the interracial couple, well, interracial like people, biracial people you're seeing are more directly from their parents. I'm pretty sure in the future you're going to start seeing people that are interracial in multiple ways than just being two.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, y'all see? Can y'all? Do you think she looks kind of Asian a little bit?
I mean,
Candace Patton.
Not
Yeah.
really.
she looks. Yeah, she definitely is more black than Asian.
She's more black, but like she does. I would say she's about because actually she does have a.
I
I
actually
think her.
can't see the Asianness in her at all.
I
You
mean, her
don't?
cheekbones are
Yeah,
like
she
kind of.
looks like
I can actually
I mean, her
she's black
cheekbones
to
look a little
me.
Asian.
in the skin. I can see
Like
it.
if you look, like
Now she looks
she.
more
I
Asian.
would
This
say
one.
like
Now
75.
this one.
I would say 75 black and 25
Now
Asian.
this one. She
Like
looks more
kind of
Asian.
like
Her
Oh,
eyes are coming out as like Asian because when it comes to people when it comes to Asians, they have most likely like closed eyes or something.
yeah.
Yeah. By the way, one question: do you guys know people that are interracial in more than just two ways? Like maybe from their grandparent, like maybe a white, black, Asian, and like where their grandparents are of more than two races.
I think I've seen.
You know what I find interesting though? Like my dad's black and my mom's white,
No.
and they met in 1987 when like interracial like couples were like still kind of rare.
Oh
Wait, were you
really?
about to say Mario? Or who's it? Was that Mario?
Oh,
or
they met when they were teenagers.
Yeah.
Oh dang.
Because you
Wow.
said both of your parents are born in the early 70s, right?
No, my dad was born in 1969.
Oh, okay, 69. That's
so
when
he
my
was.
youngest uncle on my mom's side was
Oh,
born
so he
too.
was 18 and your mom was 14. Oh.
Yeah. They met on a blind date.
Blind date. Oh wow.
So your mom's parents from Georgia, Rainbow.
No, they were both I'm pretty sure they were both born in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. I was surprised they probably managed.
Oh, by the way, I have a question, Rainbows. Is your mom blonde, brunette, red hair, or?
Well, her natural hair color is brown, but she dyed it blonde, like
really?
before I was even born. So I used
Dang.
to think she was a natural blonde.
Oh, so you never seen her brown?
Yeah,
Never
that
seen her-
that does tend to happen. Like you see a lot of people with like blonde hair, you'll think it's either natural or sometimes dyed, but most likely because when it comes to most white people, they actually have like brown hair, but in some countries like Norway, and some others they have like blonde hair.
Oh
the thing is
man,
that a lot of people have blonde hair when they're kids, but it turns darker when they get older.
Yeah.
That is also
yeah.
true. That's also true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that
and
happens. And another thing, because like I see a lot of like when it comes to like white families, when you see all the men and the boys, it's like their hair is darker, but then when you see all the women and the girls, their hair is just much brighter. Like
Yeah.
I don't know
Like,
where that.
I'm sure I've seen it before, but I almost never in my communities do you see a grown adult male with blonde hair, or at least where it looks yellow,
Or
Yeah.
like bright white, like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but MQG. But since you talk about hair, what you think about weave? Like weave.
oh boy.
This some controversy right here. Oh yes, black woman and weave. That's like the
Oh
most
yeah.
punch.
I've always wondered that. Like, I mean, I could understand because honestly, for me, there are
Oh.
black ladies. Black ladies can have all kind of different types of hair. Why in the world would they need a weave?
I
Yeah.
guess they do it because they don't like them.
I love when it comes to like black women hair. I when it comes to black women's hair, and see the funny thing is I'm not a big expert because I don't really pay attention to like hair salons and stuff like that because I have cousins, of course, all females, but like I think they do people's hair and people like pay them to get their hair done. So oh my goodness, all the different styles and stuff like that. And I love it when a black woman keeps their hair natural and keeps their hair naturally curly because it's like when it comes to like America's standard of of a hairstyle, it always has to be straight. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and I hate the
Oh, yeah.
stereotypes they give to like certain women when it comes to hair. I feel like if you're any woman of color, it doesn't matter what hair style you have. Whatever hairstyle fits you, that's what you should stick with. But like when it comes to black women, I love it when they embrace their natural hair color. Well,
Yeah.
not natural hair color, but their natural hairstyle. Like
Yeah.
like it's like
Afro or like cornrows or whatever. Yeah.
My hair
Or
was
braid.
naturally curly when I was like a toddler, but like as I grew, it just got straighter.
Oh really?
That does
Oh, yeah, I
have,
seen
that
Rainbow
tends to happen.
Silver.
There are black chicks out there that naturally have straight hair,
Oh yeah, I seen Rainbow's
but not a
baby
lot.
pictures,
But I don't think it's common though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I look at pictures of myself from when I was like 1 year old, and like my hair back then was naturally curly.
My hair is also like when I was a toddler, my hair was I was a blonde. Well, now my hair is dark.
Oh yeah, obviously. I was like,
Yeah,
imagine.
Your hair.
Well,
I've seen a picture of you. It seems like your hair is kind of like brown blondish or something.
Yeah.
Dirty
Captain,
blonde.
it won't look like a captain.
Yeah,
Blonde.
like that's what it seems like to me when you're in Captain's hair.
yeah, and also if Captain was like female and said his hair would, if he was a her, the hair would probably still be blonde today, like really bright blonde, like
But that's interesting. But MQ, that's pretty interesting that you said that you prefer natural hair because like so many women feel like they need a weave to look attractive to like
I
to
don't
attract
know.
like men.
Weaves to me aren't attractive for some reason.
or they want their hair straight too, like straight like the American standard of the most beautiful hairstyle has to be like down and straight. I'm like seriously,
Yeah.
just I like it when you embrace so many different varieties of hairstyles, whether it's like
Yeah.
bushy or like
Yeah.
curly, or you got
But,
like
like-
I
braids
do
and
not
stuff
like my
like that.
hair straight, like
But I
just
remember in the
straight.
90s, but I
that's
think
it.
in the 90s, it's
Are you also into do you like long hair also?
yeah.
Oh yeah, I like long hair. Like I said, I like any style of hair personally, but like
But yeah,
I
but-
feel like I feel like keeping your hair natural is the best thing to do.
Yeah,
in my
I
opinion.
agree.
like
Yeah.
one of the things
Rainbow.
that seems common with a lot of the guys around my age and especially younger. It seems like more of them are embracing the somewhat of the 50s style hair these days, where it's brushed up.
Like the greasy
I
hair.
don't like that hairstyle, honestly.
Oh, and speaking of this, Mario and Nerdy, you know this for like us black guys. Remember when 360 waves was like the hairstyle to have, like brushing your
Oh
hair
yeah,
all day and
I
yeah,
think
2000.
no.
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I was told Nerdy Gamer about this. I was like, yeah, Nerdy Gamer told me about this. He's like, yeah, back in the day, I was like all hip topped up. I had waves, I had had baggy jeans. I was like
Like
Nerdy.
not just the waves, but like the 360 spin waves.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what
I
I'm
tried to
saying?
get waves last year, but it was hard because my hair texture is not. It's kind of different than most black. I mean, it's
Actually, anybody can get waves. You just gotta put the effort into it. Like you
yeah.
gotta
I've seen
wash it.
Hispanic. I've been seeing Hispanic dudes get waves like Puerto Ricans. They be killing that joint with waves.
Oh yeah.
I've
Well,
seen
like
Puerto Rican dudes.
Have you guys seen the thread on In the Zeros about the undercut and its popularity?
oh
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
see that as often in 2018 as I did in the mid 2010s.
So what exactly is the? I think I know what the undercut is, but is it brushed up?
Yeah,
Kind of, yeah.
it's
but
kind of
yeah,
like a fade.
MQG.
Is it like a 50s hairstyle? What's
No.
it?
It's hard to explain. You'd have to look it up on Google.
Yeah, but Nerdy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nerdy. Another thing that was big. Speaking of the waves that MQG mentioned, do rags was really popular in 2000.
Yeah,
Do-rags.
sure. It definitely were.
Like, black
I
dudes
think
were
I think
wearing
I think
do-rags.
I think I had one at one point, but most of the time I think my dad, my uncle, they all practically had one.
Especially when I was living in New York, like people rocking do rags. I saw guys wearing pink do rags before, like legit.
You guys remember the man bun? I don't see
Oh
it
yeah,
as often
people
either.
still wear that shit today.
I think Hispanic guys do it. I think.
Yeah,
I don't see it anymore.
I mean, I don't understand how that could be comfortable. It has to be I mean, doesn't that hurt in any way?
I don't think it would. I mean, otherwise, why would they wear it like that?
Oh yeah, but I'm thinking
So it probably doesn't.
Yeah, but Nerdy. I
Well,
mean, MTG. Would you agree that the '90s started the whole natural hair movement? Like you started seeing like the dreads become popular. You started seeing like braids come in. You know, the natural. Like the natural hair movement really got big in the '90s. Where black started to, have more like the braids, the cornrows, the dreads, like all that hairstyles become big in the '90s. Like with
Oh yeah, the dreads especially.
Yeah, like
I mean, well, Bob Marley sported dreads in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it definitely came back in the '90s with like crisscross and what else? Coolio. Yeah, definitely Lauryn Hill. Like it was more like '90s was like an Afrocentric decade for like black people, very Afrocentric.
Yeah, it really was because looking at it regarding hair, there was certain difference. There were a lot of hairstyles I did have back in the '90s. Like I do remember having braids. Not completely, but I did have some. I also had the high top fade at 1.2. And I think I had another hairstyle that I don't remember, but yeah, I had quite a few before when the '90s was going on.
Oh wow, that's interesting. So
you guys remember this thread I made on In the Zeros about when did baseball caps become casual?
Oh yeah, you said the '80s. It said the '80s, right? '90s, like that.
It's somewhere between the seven. Like I heard some people saying the early '90s.
Yeah, when Eazy-E came out, that's when it came like.
But I feel like it if somebody tells me it would have been popular earlier, but in the '80s, but I mean, not that I know because I wasn't alive then. But
yeah, I think with Eazy, because Eazy wore his hat casually. If you look at Eazy's like pictures, he wore his hat.
Because there's a lot of people that because it wouldn't have been Eazy-E alone because remember he's a hip hop artist. And a lot of people that wear baseball caps casually are a lot of the redneck people that don't listen to hip hop.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
But I really do wonder what started that trend.
I guess. Well, I guess. Man, that's a hard one. Yeah, I guess the late '80s, early '90s, that period. Captain was actually one day baseball cats became casual. When did people?
Oh yeah, I've seen that thread. I've seen it, but maybe around that time because lately I've actually been watching videos like about the 60s and 70s, and I really don't see any guy, even the younger ones, wearing caps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
Maybe it started like a little bit after that, maybe. But I
yeah,
totally
I'd say probably around the
yeah.
80s, maybe early 90s. I mean,
Right.
the 60s,
that's true.
and the 60s and 70s were particularly no hats because before then in the 50s and before you had the fedoras, which have also been made a bit of a comeback in the 2010s thanks to the hipsters.
Yeah.
And not just a fedora, but that other hat that you see older black guys sometimes wear.
Oh no, those hats.
I've kind of seen that. I've kind of seen that too.
Church hats. I forgot what you call them, those hats, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm like a lot of jazz musicians who wore those hats.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've seen them from time to time.
But yeah, the '90s, definitely had a lot of hairstyles for like African Americans, like some.
So true.
But like braids definitely got big.
Yeah, people, and not only that, but also it was also a great decade for Black people regarding music, movies, everything. There was a lot of Black people in a lot of movies, TV shows, everything.
Yeah.
These days, I don't actually see it.
Yeah, I'd say that the aughts was probably the very best decade for the African American community because obviously before that you still had a lot of people from the pre-civil. I mean, you also have it today, but in the 90s, you still had a lot of people in the authority who were still very racist. Like you had the '92 riots and stuff. Well, in the 10s, in the 2010s, it seems like racism is making a bit of an unfortunate comeback with the alt-right movement and stuff. So I think the aughts is probably especially since that's when the first black president was elected.
Yeah.
True. The 2000s, in the 2000s, people didn't really talk about race that much compared to today. There was racism back then, but like it was very rare. Like the only time you had the racial debates, and the only time I remember hearing the racial debates in the 2000s was the 2008 election. Obviously, that was we had like racial debates.
I think
the 2008 election.
I think on Twitter I saw this one like viral video. This video that went viral of like a white man being racist to I think a Spanish lady or something. I think she was Spanish. It was viral on Twitter.
I mean, the problem is thanks to social media, people are blaming a lot of racial minorities for the problems, was because they think that once they come in, the problems start. Of course, race has nothing to do with the problem. I think that culture actually may have something to do with the problem. If you're talking about, because remember, culture has nothing to do with race, but I feel like culture itself may actually be contributing a bit to a problem because with multiculturalism, you have different cultures that don't agree with each other. That creates conflict right there.
I want to also. Have y'all seen that video I shared with y'all yet? The ad from Florida, the conservative guy running.
No, not yet.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and share that with y'all. It's really, to me, you may have mixed feelings about it. You'll eat, and I actually don't want to spoil it for y'all, but I have the link right here. Let me make sure this is the link. Yeah, y'all should see it on the chat area.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, you've already seen it? Yeah. I want everyone to see it first and then tell me what y'all think of it. Because, Nerdy, you've seen it?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go to the chat area on the top left corner, I have it linked. So, Mario, you already have it. So, yeah. So. Yeah, Mario, you gotta see it from here.
Audio and get all of our new podcasts. There's been an uncomfortable ad. It's uncomfortable for me, at least, by Representative Ron DeSantis.
Can you get in trouble for like copyright or something?
I mean, no, but Did you see? Did you see how? Did you see how the candidate? What's his name again? What's his name again? Hold up. I have it. Let me go. Why did I go over here? Hold up. Hold up. Okay, here come on, load up now.
Jump into the next clip. I just want to tell you real quick, we got a new audio network. Go to tyt.com/audio and get all of our new podcasts.
There's been an uncomfortable ad. It's uncomfortable for me, at least, by Representative Ron DeSantis from Florida.
Ron DeSantis, yeah, he's the guy who's running for Senate in Florida, and he's a conservative. And his ad was like crazy. Did you see like the baby in there and just look at what he's teaching the baby?
American Great Again, babe, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the wall? Did you see how he was teaching his kid how to build the wall or his baby?
That is so pandering to the.
Oh my god.
That is just like. This is.
I'll be honest. People that say that build the wall, they have the wrong perspective on it. I mean, I think the real thing we have to do is legalize the drugs that these drug cartels are bringing in to bring them out of the black market. That way, they can't make a profit off them, and they'll stop causing trouble because they realize they can't make a profit off of the drugs no more.
Dang. Yeah. It is crazy to think that that this guy's like this. I mean, but have you heard of that Dave Duke? Now that guy, he's a KKK member, and he ran.
And also, there's this guy running for. Ever since Trump's become president. Before I get to that, but ever since Trump's become president, if you look at this 2018 midterm elections, there's so many Trump wannabes running for Senate. I mean, they are Trump wannabes. If you look at their policies, they're even more extreme than Trump. So, like, they're like Trump wannabes, and they think they're like Trump, but they're not. Like,
that's not good.
Right people. And the thing that really disturbs me is that it's also on the left. You're having a lot of these more socialist candidates become popular, and I don't agree with their ideals either because they're going to drive the debt limit sky high. We're already 21 trillion.
Yeah.
Hey,
what do y'all think about? What do you think about that? What do you think about that girl that's running for the Senate in New York?
Yeah, Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah, what do y'all think about her?
What's her name? Wait, what's her name? Cortez.
Yeah. Say it again, Captain.
I think that the media is sort of over. I mean, I do know that a lot more socialists are also going to run, but I think in Ocasio-Cortez in particular, I think they are over exaggerating her case a bit because she's just running for a representative, not a senator, and she's definitely not going to have that much of a influence, especially since she's a younger one and the first time, and the House of Representatives is a much less influential in American politics than the Senate is.
Yeah, I need to look her up. Alexandria.
Yeah, she's been all over the news since she won in her state.
Oh, okay. Okay, she won the primary?
Yeah.
Okay, for the Democratic Party. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad I'm just learning about her because I've never heard of her. But yeah, I'll look her. But in Georgia, oh man, Georgia's so screwed, y'all. I cannot believe Brian Kemp won the primaries for the Republican side because, man, he's an extreme right winger, and now the person he's going against, I forgot her name, but she's a black woman. She's she's on the Democrat side, but I'm afraid that it's over because it's a long story, but primaries, it was for the Republican side, it was Casey Cagle and Brian Kemp. I want Casey Cagle to win so bad, and see, it's a long story, but for the ballot, if you did the Republican ballot, then you're able to participate in it. But if you did the Democrat ballot, you can't. So like, you know, the thing is that I accidentally voted Republican ballots, so I was able to vote, but there was a runoff between Brian Kemp and Casey Cagle, so it was very close. So then for the runoff, I was like the only black dude, by the way. Like the rest of the folks in line were like all white men, basically. So I felt kind of weird, but you know, I always exercise my right to vote. You know, so I live in
that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's what he's running out against this black woman. Is she like a socialist?
That's a good question. I haven't looked her up yet, but I know she's on the Democrat side. But yeah, but Brian Kemp won the primaries for the Republican side, and I'm so mad because now it seems like he has the advantage because this, of course, in November that's going to be for the whole state. And, you know, Georgia is a Republican state, so he's most likely going to win now. So Casey Cagle had to beat him in the primaries, and he didn't.
Yeah,
so, oh well. And look up Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp is a racist. I mean, he is a racist, crazy right winger.
Oh, for real?
Like for real. Like, and
what do you mean? Like, how racist? Does he like? Was he in the KKK?
He has all these rifles and stuff like that too. Like, I mean, he's pro rifle. He's pro. He's right wing everything. Like, he's the biggest Trump wannabe ever. Like, that's what I'm talking about throughout this 2018 midterm election. There's so many Trump wannabes, especially in the southeastern region of the U.S. Like on the Republican side, like it's insane. Like you realize what Trump has done. He's polarized everybody. Like
Trump
now,
Trump made it cool to be for white men to say racist things again.
Exactly. And now what's going to happen is that if these senators win, that's going to change the Republican Party. Like, you know, oh, hey, Mario, glad you're playing that. So, it's going to change this is how parties can change. Like, you know, I can't stand him. I hate even seeing his face too. Goodness.
Wow. I mean,
he does look like a Trump wannabe.
He is.
Yeah, I mean, if the right keeps moving to the more authoritarian and far right, and if the left keeps moving over to the more socialist and even at times communist side, we're going to need some sort of an independent party for moderates. I wish the libertarian. I really wish the libertarians had more sway, but people are too worried that they'll cause anarchy. Even though a lot of libertarians clearly say they believe in a no aggression policy.
Yeah.
So are you about to say, Gucci?
Back to what we were saying about the Bush era, like, I don't remember Republicans being this bad in the Bush. I mean, obviously I didn't pay attention back then, but like, I remember it being this polarized in the Bush era. Bush era seemed like Bush is more of like the traditional Republican, whereas Trump is more like the radical, pro-white type of Republican.
Yeah, back then this whole concept of Republicans being quote unquote racist and Democrats being for equality and stuff wasn't very established yet at this point.
I mean, for like minorities, we kind of already assumed that Republicans
because Obama was actually the first president in quite a while. I mean, Democratic president who wasn't a Dixiecrat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also Obama, people think Obama was like a extreme liberal the whole way through. That's not really true.
Because he was pro-gay marriage. He was actually more conservative his first term than his second term.
Yeah, exactly. He was a moderate when he came in office. Like, people forget that. Like, he did got more liberal as his presidency went on, especially in his second term. And I think he was in a tough position because, again, after Trayvon Martin got shot and Zimmerman won that, like,
and then the whole Gunga show issue with the shooting in 2012.
Yeah, that's when Black Lives Matter came on the rise, and from that point on, he became more left. And eventually, when gay marriage got legalized, oh boy, like
he went super left.
Exactly, like that's what I'm saying. So, like, you know, when he first started out, he was a Democrat moderate.
He was like, more, because like most of his supporters were, in the black community, so they wasn't for gay marriage at the time. So he was like, "I'm not for gay marriage. I'm a Christian." Remember, he said that. He said,
absolutely. And yet these people still act like Obama was the worst president. It's like, seriously. And he got us out. He got us out of the recession. The unemployment rate for minorities dropped. Like
Yeah.
it
And-
dropped over
and he
more than
also-
half.
And he also, made gas prices went down dramatically, like back to early 2000s level of cheap.
Yeah.
Like,
The only thing I wish Obama would have
2000
kept his promise on is, I mean, he didn't take us out of the Iraq War, but he also started the war in Libya. I do wish he would. I mean, then again, that could also be because Hillary was a Secretary of State, and she was a very hawkish kind of. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people didn't want to vote for Hillary, because they view her as a warmonger.
Yeah, Hillary was pretty well known before, because she was Bill Clinton's wife, obviously. But then she also had her own political history.
Yeah, like not only did she advocate for the war in Libya, but she also supported the war in Iraq. And when she was running for president, that she wanted to put like no-fly zones and stuff in Syria.
Yeah. But yeah, it is kind of interesting. Obama, yeah, he's definitely, he's like the first Democrat president we had. Well, Clinton, or him and Clinton, right? Clinton was the first Democrat president since the Carter, and then so we went like 15 years without Democrat president, and then after Clinton, we went another 8 years without Democrat president. So
Since Clinton first came in office, it's been an 8-year cycle. Like,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah, and see, I would not be surprised. See, if it wouldn't be till 2024 until we had a new president, it wouldn't shock me. But if we don't have a president until 2024, I guarantee you the next president will be way more far left than Obama was when he came in. Mark my word on that.
I mean,
yeah.
I
Even
agree,
in 2020,
agree.
I believe that whoever the Democratic nominees will likely be a lot more far left.
yeah,
Like,
I
it'll
think,
probably be
like
somewhere
Sanders level or far left, like Bernie Sanders level.
Yeah, the Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren level.
Because, like, I mean, the political spectrum has definitely changed. Definitely got more polarized over the last few
there's like the political compass where there's 4 different directions. Like there's the authoritarian and libertarian section going from top to bottom, and the economic left to right. So, that political compass.
Isn't that on the political thread?
Hold on, let me see if I get a
I think
share.
it's a thread called like, am I left wing or right wing? And I think Brian created the thread, and I think there's like a survey on there.
Hold on, Google Images. All right, let's see. So my political compass. See if it'll come up here. Yeah, this one right here.
Yeah, I see it too. That's the one y'all were doing on that thread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm in this section right here, this libertarian right section.
I could see.
A lot
I
of
could
other
tell.
users are here.
Because I don't think nobody.
I feel.
I think only libertarians would say legalize all drugs. Like that's like the only party that's the pro drugs. I see, Captain.
Like what libertarians believe in is basically less government overall. Like the only thing that government should really believe that the police force should really be involved in is protecting people from hurt and stuff.
Do you guys think Gen Z would be more libertarian?
I kind of hope so.
I think so.
I
To
think Gen
say
Z's more
that
libertarian.
for articles to say, oh, they'll be more conservative as they get
Yeah,
older.
I don't think that's true.
I think we'd be more
They're saying
libertarian.
we'll be like the most conservative generation ever, and I just can't believe like that. Like,
Yeah, like when I look at these
yeah.
sources in
How
detail,
could
they say they're more
generation- first of
fiscally
all-
conservative but socially liberal. Yeah, they say they're more fiscally conservative but they're more socially liberal.
Exactly. This is basically what libertarian is. They're more socially liberal but economically conservative. I could definitely see Gen Z as the more libertarian because
Isn't that how you are, Captain? Like,
Yeah.
economically you're conservative, like, and then
Yeah, I believe in the
social-
markets.
yeah,
The free market.
yeah,
Basically less government overall.
yeah.
Okay, so because like I think, and this is another thing too. Like, people think in these days, people automatically assume people are far left or far right if you get offended over their opposing political view than you, but you also have the social conservatives, social liberals, and you have the economic conservatives and the economic liberals. It's like in people who are in between, more moderate and stuff like that, So, and then I think you got the progressive too. What's the progressive again?
I believe like progressives are more on the. I mean, I know they're on the left side of the spectrum. I believe they could be either on the more authoritarian or more libertarian side of that political compass.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it is interesting. But with Gen Z, one thing that I can definitely see that one positive thing Trump has done for his country, he made entrepreneurship like cool. Like he's seen a lot of kids, a lot of people saying want to start business now. Whereas before it's about getting a job, and now ever since Trump got elected, you're hearing more talk about entrepreneurship. In the last
Well,
like
see,
2 years.
again, like I said before, throughout Obama's presidency, we were getting out of the recession, and then after the recession was over, the unemployment rate doubled down throughout Obama's presidency. So when people say, well, in Trump's presidency, the employment rate is the lowest for minorities ever. Well, to me, it's misleading. It's not because of Trump. It's because, well, number one, minorities have been growing in this country for the past several decades, and they're obviously. And then number two, Obama got us out of the recession, and the unemployment rate went down the most throughout Obama's presidency. So, for minorities. So
I agree with you on that. I mean, but then again, like even after the recession technically ended in 2009, but people still talk about the recession all throughout the early teens, the early 10s. Yeah, I remember a lot of people was talking about not having jobs in like 2010, 2011. I remember hearing that a lot especially from like, I mean, even still to this day, you still hear that, but not as often as you did, in the early part of the decade, where it was like every adult I talked to was talking about the economy was bad. Adult I talked to. Yeah, but
something about that. I was actually the period that you just spoke about. I was actually supposed to get a job, like an out of school job around that time. Like I was part of this program in my school, and I was supposed to get like a real job, but it didn't unfortunately work out. Probably most likely because of that reason, what you just mentioned.
Yeah. Well, then again, I think your state is hard to get a job. The hardest to get a job is in your state already, because like.
Yeah, there's like millions. Like because our state has like the most people like all overall in the whole country.
Yeah, but are there also a lot of government jobs there in California?
Government jobs?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure about that. I don't really follow that.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if there's a lot.
I think that entrepreneurship is coming more. I think Gen Z is going to be the most entrepreneur generation. Like when you look at like influencers.
The different types of jobs. Because think about it. Think of what our generation can, and it's not just Gen Z. Because I feel like late millennials and early Z have more in common than their core generation
counterparts.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I'll be honest, I kind of think that I mean, not to get in generationology, but I think that the lines for generations just may eventually be redrawn.
Yeah, like 20
in the future.
I mean, but like I think the reason, because like they group of millennials as like college, like fresh out of college, but when you look at, but they forget that millennials as a whole like grew up in the time when the internet was still new, and still the narrative was still like get a job, go to college, expect to get you a job. That was the narrative for like most of the millennial generation. But now like the younger ones, like those who were born like in the early to mid 90s, have seen that what our parents told us is not. Our parents told us this isn't the truth anymore. It's not true anymore, because we got the internet now. We got YouTube. We could be influencers. We could create music. We could make money off the things we've been doing since we were kids. But with Gen Z, the internet has been there from day one for them. So they knew that there was going to be a corporate slave from Jump Street. They already knew they didn't want to be a corporate slave. I mean, with Gen Z, I'm seeing that.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, because think about late millennials and early Z. We could push ourselves and have a YouTube career. You know, you got people with more people with YouTube careers now who are making money off of YouTube with all the subscribers they have making their own content. And then you could, if you're good in math, you could be a math teacher.
Yeah. Like
teach
Khan
math.
Academy. Like Khan Academy was the first. Like he was doing math in 06.
Yeah, you got websites where you can like be math. You can be anonymous and like teach math to like random people and get a salary off of that. And then of course you can work in your own local town in the place. And then of course you have your own career you're working towards when you're in college and stuff like that. So those are multiple ways you can make money in this day and time.
Yeah. So like I think college is gonna go down. College, the entry rate's gonna go down dramatically once the core generation Zers go to college, because
the problem is college is too expensive right now.
Because the millennial generation, one of the things that hurt the millennials was college debt. Like with Gen Z,
I only went to college for a year.
With like Gen Z, they see the mistakes that millennials made with college. They seen that, oh, wait, you guys are still struggling. You guys still haven't paid your loans yet. You guys been on college for like 10 years. And you guys
thankfully, the career I'm going towards in college, mine is computer engineering and then a minor in computer science. Thankfully, my career is more towards where the future is going, you know. So, you know, thankfully college works out for me personally. So
and I think they are going. I think I think the best route, if parents still want us to go to college narrative, I think community college probably might be the best option for most people who have to go to college, who have to go to college to get.
Either community college or trade school.
Again, if you waste 4 years on a degree that doesn't give you a good job, then it is what it is. So, because like, you know, there's a lot of college degrees out there that take longer. To me, I mean, sure, if you're in the medical field, it takes 4 years in college, and then when it comes to medical school,
it would take extra 4 years.
Another 4 years. So technically, if you're like in the medical field,
it would take like 10 years.
The whole process is 8 years on average when you think about it. So like, to me, I feel like post high school, it doesn't matter until you get the job that gets you earning a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So like, to me, what difference does it make to me being in college for just 4 years for an average degree is no different than not going to college at all. Like, I'm serious. Just most of the jobs that earn you a good amount of money, those college degrees is usually a 5 to 8 year process overall. Like when you think about it,
that's true.
Like getting a master's or a PhD.
Like being a college professor or being a doctor or a lawyer, those things take like longer.
Exactly. And same goes for engineers too. Like engineers, even though our whole degree is undergraduate, but for engineer undergraduates, it usually takes us 5 years, sometimes 6 years, you know.
Yeah. By the way, about college at MQG, are you noticing more people older than 22 in college recently?
Yes.
I mean,
because I know for a lot of people that college is too expensive, so now a lot of them are waiting.
I like a lot. Yeah, I definitely. Well, you definitely see that. I know you see that a lot. Oh, yeah. I guess I know you see a lot of community colleges where you have like 30 plus, students. But like,
I'll be right.
I think in universities you are going to start seeing more of that because of the cost of college is ridiculous. Because I know my cousin went back to college in her like 30s and 40s. So, I could definitely see, people of that age group going to school.
Yeah, the college I went to, it felt sort of like a mix between a college and community. It was over in Metro Denver.
Oh, okay, nice.
Are you still in college?
Wait, what'd you say, Rainbow?
I said, are you still in college?
Right now, I'm going to trade school.
What's that?
That's
Oh,
where you,
for
like
what?
pick up a skill. Oh yeah, that's where you pick up a skill for like stuff like that.
What are you going to trade school for?
Right now, I'm in a position for like I've been like right now I've been working in a lot of this sort of warehouse environment.
Oh, that's really nice. Oh, and I wanted to say something regarding
I've been driving
college
forklifts
about. What say that again, Captain?
I've been driving forklifts there.
Oh, that's pretty nice. That's pretty good. As long as one likes that job, that's pretty good for a trade. That's
Yeah,
if
but
you want it or not. Although I wanted to say something regarding college overall about that. When it comes to college, it not only depends on the person, but it also depends on what level of college they're going to. Because again, when people talk about college, they tend to forget like there's so many different kinds of it. Like you have public university, you have private university, and then you also have your community colleges.
and then you have
And then
like
not
your
only
4-year community
that, yeah,
colleges.
and then not only that, and then you also have people coming from it's like regarding people. It depends if you're an in-state student or out of state. If you're a native student, you actually pay less. But if you're an out-of-state student, and especially at a private university, you pay so much than you should.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because I did that. I was out of state my first year.
And then another thing that comes to mind for some reason people don't see them talk about is that financial aid. Like, financial aid is a really huge contributor of preventing people from going into debt. I mean, I understand you have to like meet qualifications to actually get it and all that, but financial aid is a really big plus to have.
Yeah, it is.
And I never see all the people I see going on, I see on Reddit and other sites, like they literally talk about going to college, like they went, but they ended up going to like money's worth of debt, but they never talk about financial aid, and that's kind of just weird, like they never do. And then also, they never think about the options of what school did they go to, which state was it in, and all that.
Yeah.
And what kind of school was it? Like, was it a public 4-year school?
Did you get a scholarship or not?
Or that too, or was it a trade? All that. Like, I never see that like all mentioned.
Yeah, I think college. I think with Gen Z, they're gonna be more smarter than like millennials are with college. Because with millennials, we just assume that you just go to college and you guarantee you get a job and you pay off all that debt. But like with Gen Zers, they seem like going to college is not, all it's cracked up to be. And then plus, I can get a good job without.
And that is totally true. That is true. And then and also what other people don't seem to realize. I mean, of course, yes, there were tons of millennials who did attend college, but you also had those, for some reason, that get left out of nowhere for some reason, that also attended a trade school, and they're actually doing better, as well as the people who ended up just going straight to a job after high school. Like even those people regarding millennials, they get forgotten for some reason, and it's only just about those who went to college like right after high school. When not all millennials went to college.
Yeah, that is true. I think the reason why they use that narrative because like millennials are known for being the most educated generation so far.
That is true, and we are coming a long way and all, but again, like you said, it is a narrative, but it's false because, again, and I know this is anecdotal and all that. I don't know if you guys have the same story, but I actually have a lot of friends who didn't go to college. I mean, yeah, they graduated high school, but they did not attend college, and instead they decided to just go straight to a job after high school. Yeah. And then I also have friends who also they may have not went to college like the traditional one and all that, but they did go to a trade school.
Oh yeah, they went.
And then I also had friends who didn't do either, and instead they decided to just go to the military.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah, so, that's a
one thing I think in society. I think people in society need to stop associating the word educated with the word smart.
Yeah. Because people assume that if you don't go to college, that means you're dumb, you're lazy, you're a loser.
Yeah.
That's the whole narrative you hear. I actually watched a movie about this. Since we talk about millennials, since we talk about college, I actually watched a movie that kind of like foreshadowed this whole like narrative that we see today. Accepted with Jonah Hill. I don't know if any of you have seen that movie. It came out in 2006. Yeah, that movie.
I think I have.
that movie pretty much foreshadowed the whole narrative what people are going to do today. Like it was talking about like college, talking about like how like this kid he made up he gets into college, so he made up his own college. You know, where instead of like having teachers, the students taught
Yeah.
themselves. The students like was self-educating themselves, like you know how to skate, how to cook, and stuff like that. You know, it was pretty interesting. And then he was saying that you know colleges they only teach you stuff that you don't need to learn most of the time. That why don't you teach stuff that why don't you focus on stuff that we want them to do in our lives? And like I was like, wow. And then the quote unquote forgot a quote unquote advisor, I guess, was saying that you know college is bull crap. You know they tell us you know to do anything we want, but then once we get to college, you know they set us up to fail. Only set us up for failure once you realize that wait, you know there's no feel for that. Wait, you know, and and that really interested me. This was like 2006 the movie came out, so this was when most movies were still in high school, so
Yeah.
so it's pretty interesting. Like this around the time when Machine Head was starting college. that when that movie
Right,
came out.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, back at that time when that movie came out, your average millennial would have been either in high school or college at the
yeah,
time. So obviously, they would have learned about the narrative by that point. But the thing is, I mean, and it is a good movie in some ways. Like it did teach people like that going to college is not always it's not always a good choice and all that. But it depends. And when it comes to traditional college, it still depends on where one attends. Like again, private versus public. I mean, that's still a good the factor to think about, as well as going in state and out of state. Because again, if you're out of state, you're going to pay way more, and especially considering you got to have a dorm and all that. When it comes to people in state, they don't actually have to think about that because they're practically home and they could just head to school all day long just by driving or taking the trolley bus, whatever.
yeah, yeah. Depends on how big the state is too, because like
Yeah,
I know my state, a lot of kids, you know, they go in state, but they drive like 2-3 hours away from home. You know.
right.
Yeah, and where I live, people take the light rail.
Oh, really? You have light rail in Denver?
Yeah.
Cool. Denver's really modern when it comes to technology. I see.
Yeah. Yeah, but light rail or the people take a
Lyft.
But yeah, the whole cost of college, again, it still depends on either if one is going to a private or a public university, as well as if they're going to a native or out of state.
And the thing that helps me too is that I've retained my Hope scholarship too. Like, you know.
Yes, scholarships help out a lot.
Give you that scholarship.
And scholarships definitely help out a lot. Not just financial aid, but yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah, I have financial aid and the Hope scholarship, and I've been having my Hope scholarship since I graduated high school. Since I graduated with honors, I applied for the Hope scholarship, and I've held on to it ever since. Now, my Hope scholarship will be leaving soon because I'm going to be hitting the 90-hour checkpoint. And see, in Georgia, once you pass 90 credit hours, I think you can no longer have it. So, you know.
Oh wow. Well, at least you get a lot. At least you get a good chunk of education out the way, though. That's good.
Oh yeah, it's not only do scholarships work, but another thing people don't take advantage of, whether they're regardless if they're disadvantaged or whatever, is the programs they might have for regarding all that money. Because there's a lot of programs that will offer you money depending on what you qualify for.
Yeah.
For example, there are programs out there for those who are economically disadvantaged and academically disadvantaged.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a ton of ways in college to actually get money, not just financial aid and scholarships, but there's so many ways. But people unfortunately don't know about them because they think they don't need it, or there's people, especially with financial aid, they'll believe they don't qualify, whatever, because they think it might be towards certain people, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of interesting how difficult. Like, I mean, you would think. I mean, I'll just look at like the baby boomers and like how college was really cheap when baby boomers were going to college. It was really cheap.
Right, it really was.
It was
So the funny
cheap.
thing is, a lot of the older generations are less college educated than the ones that are going to school when it's more expensive.
Yeah,
Probably
because
because a lot of them were during the military. This is when the Vietnam War was going on, of course.
yeah, Vietnam War, and then with Gen Xers, it was the Gulf War with Gen Xers.
Yeah,
Yeah, with the millennials, it was just. I mean, millennials had more war, but the thing about millennials, there was college was more of like because the whole suburb because most millennials grew up in the suburbs, they felt like the only have a nice house that have a nice quality of life is a college education. That was something that boomers, you know, passed down to millennials and like even Gen Xers. They said the only have a nice quality of life is go to college, get a good job, and you would live in the suburbs. You live in have a picket fence and you know that whole American dream narrative kind of like shifted around somewhere in like the late 2000 the recession era. That's when a lot of people started saying, well, the suburbs ain't all it's going to be because the housing bubble crash, and then so let's move to the cities, and that's how all this migration to like bigger cities really took off.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think do you think the housing crash has a lot to do with why the reason why a lot of like young people move to city stuff like suburbs and stuff like that.
And just about that, I just read there was an article that Zealous Fan had provided, I think 2-3 weeks ago, and they said that where millennials they were just talking about just that generation, but the article mentioned in the head title is that were they moving back to set up the suburbs, and I mean I didn't read about much of it, but do you guys think that's true or you think it's false?
I think it's true. I think it depends. I could
Well,
say
I
it's
think
true.
that the whole. I mean, when people say the suburbs make a comeback, I'm like, no, they never went in the first place. I think the only reason why millennials are moving more is because they're older now, and they're
Yeah,
able to
True.
afford it
I
now.
guess the older millennials, like ones who have kids and are married, are moving to the suburbs. But
Yeah,
the ones who are like, who the ones who are around, the ones who are just got out of college, they probably might move to like a big city. Still, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah, but overall, I think the whole
But
concept of the suburbs making a comeback is a bit ridiculous because they never went to begin with.
Suburb?
Yeah.
I had no idea what he was talking about when he said suburbs making a comeback.
come back.
What suburb? What?
Come back.
Basically saying if suburbs or millennials move back to the suburbs, that's what
Really?
you're talking about.
I thought
That's what the article. That's what the article
thing.
mentioned. Yeah, that's what the article mentioned.
What? I thought suburb, city, or rural is always a thing. It just depends on where you live or where you come from.
I guess suburbs are more like cities are like like the actual city, whereas a suburb is like outside like city limits, like right outside the limits, and then you
And
got
you know the stereotypes, right? Oh, all left wingers live in the city, all right wingers live in the rural. That's not true. I mean,
that
really.
ain't true.
I live in a house.
We all know.
Obviously, you live in Jersey. You live in our houses.
Are you in the suburbs part of New Jersey?
Like,
You live in a
yeah. I mean,
township,
I don't live in like the city, so I guess.
You live in a township.
Yeah.
Oh, so like small or big?
Yeah.
By the
Lawrence
way,
Township.
I wanted to bring this up since we're on the topic of a lot of the issues happening lately. Here's one issue I've been noticing happening a lot recently. Sex offenders being a women on boy. I've been seeing so many news stories about a boy being raped by women.
Oh, you know,
I've never
you
heard
know,
of that.
You want to know how that's most common? Is the teachers doing it to the boys?
Yeah. Oh yeah, but
That's the most
And
common news stories I've heard when it comes to women.
and then it's not even taken serious. Like when a chick does it to a guy, people will say, "Oh nah, oh
Nah,
nice,
that's good, though.
oh
You
oh
getting-
damn,
you
you got
getting
hurt."
hit
Oh,
But if
early.
it's like the
you
other
should
way
hit her up
around,
again.
take it so seriously. Cause
I mean,
Yeah,
the question
it's like,
is,
I don't. And then it's also taken seriously when it's also guy on guy and girl on girl. It's also taken seriously.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of that, glad you brought this up, Captain, because R. Kelly made this song called "I Admit." We talk about like all his flaws and whatever. He mentioned that he got molested. That's the reason why he became like. That's the kind of reason how he started his whole predator stuff. He got molested by a babysitter, I think, when he was like from age 8 to age 12. So he was like very aware of sex young, and that's like it came this, just came after these young girls. That's how all things started.
Yeah, but it seems like a lot of these sex. I mean, I haven't looked too much at it, but it seems like a lot of these women sex offenders are doing this to boys, usually around age 16 or maybe 15 to 17.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this happen.
I don't want to sound like one of those people, but my question is was the boy asking?
Yeah.
Like was he trying to
get some?
Like was he in on it or something? Like was he trying to?
Yeah. Yeah.
That does it happens. It goes both ways. Like there have guys in high school that have tried to hit on the teacher, and that like she's so hot that he wants to hook up with so bad. And then there are times where the teacher thinks one of her students is so cute or gorgeous that she wants to hit on him. But yeah, it goes both ways. And it has happened. It has happened where in questioning the guy did ask and the teacher accepted it, and then the other way around where the teacher asked and the student accepted it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one question I think these police officers and stuff need to look into. And one thing people have to realize that in a lot of states the legal age of consent is 16, not 18. And where I live, it's 17.
Oh dang.
Wait, what is?
Yeah. It depends on where you live.
Yeah, but it's 16 over here.
Oh dang.
Yeah, because
but obviously people are not going to care because again, I mean, yeah, people shouldn't be worried about what other people do, but I'm gonna tell you right now, people really don't care about what age you have to be. They will still hook up regardless.
Yeah, the problem is that because of course 16 and 17 are so close to 18, a lot of them look identical. A lot of them lie about their age, that
is true too. That people will lie about their age just to get with somebody. They will lie. There's a lot of people who will lie about their age just to get with somebody. Like and it tends to have a more common with ladies than guys. Like there are ladies who are in high school who will pretend that they're in their 20s just to hook up with like some hot guy in their 20s or 30s, and then the guy finds out, oh shoot, she's underage, I gotta get out of here. Like that kind of stuff. That does tend to happen too.
And you see how,
and the guys get arrested for it even though they didn't know, which I think is bull. Which is why I think which is why I advocate for 16 being the legal age with ages 14, 15, it being a misdemeanor if their partner was under 20, but a felony if they were over 20. And if it's 13 or under, just make it a complete out felony.
Heck yeah. Yeah, because that's when but it is kind of sad that boys don't get the same sympathy as girls do when they get like raped and stuff. Like when girls do that.
They do when they get read by other guys, but and when ladies do it to guys,
it's because they look at the men as more aggressive and stuff
exactly.
like that. Yeah, so and also, I think it also works the other way around when it comes to like, let's say slut shaming or like girls being called a slut. Like for example, like when a girl acts sexual or something, they get
if anyone wants to join
they get insulted a lot and get called slut or a whore. But then when it comes to men acting sexual, they don't get called all those names and stuff. I think it works the other way around when it comes to that. So like,
there was a comedian that talked about this. How he said that girls that sleep with a bunch of guys are called sluts, while guys that sleep with a bunch of girls are called studs. And he mentioned that it is fair because to be a stud, you have to. I mean, it's not easy to be. It's easier to be a slut than for girls than it is to be a stud for guys. Is what he said in that comedy stream.
Yeah, I don't know how Rainbows would feel about this though, honestly. So, because see, as a guy, it's hard. It's tough because like I don't really know the female's viewpoint when it comes to all those issues and stuff. Because.
Well, when I was in high school, and not to brag or anything, but I did get a lot of hugs from a lot of the girls, and I of course dated and stuff. But the thing is though I'm not very muscular. I think it may be because of my height, because I'm very tall.
I actually thought you were kind of had some muscle, or at least had a football background.
I guess because of your profile picture, you're like
Yeah.
No, like even when I saw him on person on here too, with the hat on and the shades.
Oh yeah. I mean, he did look kind of skinny. I remember on camera when I saw Captain on camera.
Yeah. But despite that, like I said before, I still got a lot of attention from girls when I was in high school.
I mean, same here. I mean, I was chubby. I was like fat when I was in high school, but I was still getting attention.
By the way, how old is Alexandria Cortez? She's
28, so she'd be
28.
like either 89 or 90.
Wait a minute, is she Carmen from Spy Kids? Is that?
No. Wait, where did that come from?
Oh, the name sounds so familiar though. It just came to my hand when you said Cortez. I was thinking of.
Okay, how old do you have to be to run for president again?
35.
Bye.
You have to
to
be,
be thir-
But
I
you can
believe
run
for
for-
a
but
Senate-
you
for-
can
I believe
run
for a
for-
representative, it's a. So I know if for president it's 35, but I believe for a representative it's 25. Well, for Senate it's 30.
Yeah.
But that's
you're right.
that's for like just like the Senate and representatives in DC. For the state stuff, I think it's much lower.
Yeah.
Okay, because see, here's the weird thing. Let's say you're gonna turn 35 before the presidential election, like, is it that you have to be 35 to enter, or do you have to turn 35 before the election? That's the question. Like,
Yeah, that is a good question. Oh, but it's not that you also have to be a certain age to run. There's also a few other qualifications. Like you also have to live here for like about 15 years before you can run as well.
And you have to have
yeah.
been born here too. You have to have been born in the U.S.
Oh,
yeah,
dang.
because I'm looking at Alexandria Cortez. She's born in October 13th, 1989. She doesn't turn 35 until October 2024, which is 1 month before the 2024 election. So it's kind of weird. Maybe she wouldn't be able to enter because she hadn't turned 35, but she would turn 35 before the actual election of 2024, although she probably has no chance anyway, but it's just speculation here. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
because
because even after 35, people don't usually want their people running for a president until they're 45 usually.
yeah.
The youngest president so far, John F. Kennedy. He was only like 42.
Yeah, because I think because if you think about not just the presidency, but also all those top positions, they rather have people with experience.
Exactly. But how about Trump? Because he had no.
Yeah.
And he was like,
He didn't have nothing. He practically just stole it. That's how he did it. He said a lot of stupid, crazy stuff. Got people all riled up, saying some like stupid, like racist, sexist, all that kind of stuff, and he turned on everybody, and that's practically how he won.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Donald Trump.
So I'm thinking if it would, and see, here's another. Trump winning not only damages the Republican Party, but it also damages the Democrat side too. And
It made it seem like everybody going for president now. It made it look like everybody going for president.
It's like everyone has to be extreme now and polarized. And if you're like a moderate or something, then you can't offend anybody.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be as politically correct as
But when
possible if you're moderate.
But one good movie, MQG and Nerdy Gamer. I'm not sure if you guys seen his movie. Head to State by Chris Rock. It pretty much foreshadowed Obama's presidency.
Like what movie?
Head to State by Chris Rock. He played the first black president, and it came out in 2003. And it was so funny. And I was like, dang. And it was the funny thing about this movie. It was talking about the 2004 election, but we didn't have the first black president until 2008. So it was kind of like, wow, he basically foreshadowed the first black president within the 5 years.
What was the title called?
Head of State by let me screen share this.
Wait, you said Head of State?
Yeah, Head of State.
Head of State.
Yeah, Chris Rock.
I'm trying to think how I've heard of it. I don't think I watched it, but I'm trying to think have I heard of it though.
Yo, that movie is so funny.
See, here's the thing. I'm just saying, if Trump could get in, think of the sleepers or the dark horses on the Democrat side who could get in, who
Yeah,
you
like,
never think could get in.
You
That's
got
a
so
scary
Rock
thing.
saying he want to run for president. Now you know that's wild.
Yeah.
I mean,
and also about the 2020 coming up. I don't know if you guys have been aware or anything, but because of the damage Trump has done, there's a lot of Democrats that are actually going to run for president, and there's like a few that are in mind that are willing to run so they can finally take this guy out and all that. But yeah, there's gonna be there's probably about 10 people I think running on the Democrat side in 2020.
Oh yeah, MTG nerdy. Yo, here it is. This is hilarious.
I'm looking. This from 2003, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a copyright strike, got you.
No.
All right.
Okay, I get it though. So let me see.
Yo, just look what you're saying though. It's just going you won't be laughing.
I actually can't hear it because you probably have your headphones on, so
I took it off. Hold on. I took it off. So
This is from Chicago, right? That's where Obama's from.
yeah, this movie had Obama in mind. I swear this movie had Obama in mind.
yeah. I'll research it. Like, I promise you, I will research
I'll tell you,
and give
man,
my thoughts on it.
This clip made the movie, man. This clip right here.
All into the future.
This clip right here made the movie, man. I swear it did. Like, I remember watching when I was younger. I was laughing it's still funny. I was laughing my butt off when I first saw this scene. He was like, "That ain't right. That ain't right." How he kept saying that ain't right.
In 2000, when you had a lot of these hit or miss black comedy movies. Well, not only that, but you also had comedy movies from white, like the Oscar was very hit for comedy movies.
Yeah, comedy movies. That's
you had remember this movie White Chicks?
Oh yeah, I watched that in 2004 at the theater.
I remember it came out.
What was the title?
Yep.
White Chick.
It came out right before.
I love that movie. It's so funny.
The Wayne brothers. Yeah, the Wayne brothers dressed up as white girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
The White Chick movie. Oh yeah, that was so funny. I remember watching that. I think on DVD.
I remember.
So
I remember they was playing Crazy in Love. They was dancing to Crazy. Yeah.
Was it that when they were like?
About and we're talking about the car scene where they were replacing the 1,000 Miles song. They had changed to a song saying the N-word.
Oh, yeah.
That was my favorite part. That was like one of my favorite parts. It was funny.
My favorite part is when they was dancing. Yeah.
Oh, the dance off, like the dance contest.
Yeah. And also the funniest part with the Yo Mama jokes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. That movie's as old as Wolverine.
Y'all watched Norbit?
Oh, Eddie
Absolutely.
Murphy. That's
Eddie
funny
Murphy.
too. I love that movie.
Another great comedy movie. Yes.
I could see. Yeah, I know. I'm still on this. I've been researching about this Alexandria Cortez. You could tell. I don't really know what her exact views are, but she definitely looks very left for sure. You can just tell by the way she talks and stuff.
Well, I wonder if she's a. Does it say she's a Cuban or a Puerto Rican?
She's definitely Hispanic for sure. I mean, yeah, she's from the Bronx. They said so on Wikipedia. Yeah, she's from the Bronx, New York City. Yeah,
because the one thing is about most Latin American countries are very left socially, yet they're not doing very very well at all.
Yeah.
Like Venezuela.
But MQG, man, I promise you, man, Chris Rock. I mean, one thing about Chris Rock in general, he foreshadows a lot of things. A lot of things he say, it becoming true later down the road. It becoming true. You're like, dang, he said this long ago. Like one thing he mentioned, he did a special in 2004 where he talked about like Iraq. Like, man, you took over Iraq in 2 days. We couldn't even take over Baltimore in that long time. And then let's see, Baltimore riots happened like a decade later. I'm like, dang.
Yeah. Okay, Captain, I see what you're talking about. So when she won the Democratic primary, it was considered as the biggest upset victory of the 2018 midterm election season.
Yeah, so far at least. I'm pretty sure there'll be bigger upsets once the election really goes on in November.
Because think about it, New York. New York. Okay, Hillary won New York, right?
Oh yeah, by a landslide. It wasn't even close.
So that means that since Alexandria Cortez got the primary, now she has a legit in November.
Hey, Jacqueline.
Oh, you made it. Oh man, we was waiting for you.
She's likely gonna. I believe she's gonna win that if she's running against a Republican, gonna win that election. But I do think that the media is overestimating the impact because again, she is just running for a representative district. She's not running for a Senate or anything.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man. But got my camera on. But man, it's like, man, like Jacqueline. Oh yeah, we was talking about like politics and stuff. Oh there, she muted. She probably can't hear me. But yeah, we saw about politics and stuff, and
I can hear you. It just mutes my microphone.
Oh, okay. And I was showing them that how Chris Rock made a movie pretty much foreshadowed Obama's presidency. With head of state, he pretty much foreshadowed Obama's like becoming president 5 years before he actually became president, and nobody really realized this. Well, he talks about that.
Mario, I feel like that's like the best background you've ever been on, like when it comes to your videos.
Yeah. I used to do my videos in my room for the most part, but sometimes in my living room.
Yes, that's some pretty good lighting there.
Yeah, I'm using my webcam. But yeah, one thing we also mentioned, Jacqueline, was that politics, that how Gen Z. I think we think that Gen Z is going more smarter about like college and stuff than like millennials were, because like with millennials, we was like preached to that if you don't go to college, it's the end of the world, yada yada, you're not gonna be able to have a good quality of life and stuff of that nature. I wonder what your take on this whole thing, because
I mean, it's hard to totally tell. A lot of it depends on what happens to the economy in the coming years. Like, it could change. Like, maybe the wealth will finally start to redistribute as people get really sick of voodoo economics. And I mean, Gen Z is supposedly more independently entrepreneurial anyway, so
yeah,
I mean, especially with their savviness with social media and researching things to a degree that millennials are not about. Like, they're sort of more proactive than millennials, like from a business standpoint. Like, it may be possible for them to sort of build a middle class from a more grassroots level.
Yeah,
whereas like those at the very top, like the wealth up there will start to rot, or the rich people's their money will be passed down through inheritance. And yeah, I think that I think that probably in the 2020s and 2030s, the economy will start to shift more in that kind of direction with the rise of Gen Z into the workforce.
Is that the debt limit is at 21 trillion? I wonder if there's going to be some sort of collapse.
I mean, the debt has just been building and building for centuries.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much debt we are in. Like, gosh, Yeah, but Gen Z.
And you know what's even worse is that the Republican presidents have actually added more than the Democratic ones.
Yeah. Yeah, with that in mind, Infinity, do you think Donald Trump has something to do with this whole entrepreneurial spirit in America being more like mainstream now?
No, absolutely not. He's just
because before Donald Trump was president, I wasn't hearing many people talk about having their own business. Like,
it has nothing to do with him. He's like he's just a representation of the trickle down economics, like the businessman at the top handing down empty promises. He isn't Gen Z style at all.
He
isn't like
oh yeah.
He was successful because he had a rich daddy.
Trump's a fake entrepreneur.
Boy, they've been bankrupt. This man been bankrupt on like several.
He's not self-made. He just thinks he is because he got all this power. No, I agree with the thing he said. That's where he got all his money from, and that's exactly why all his kids are all rich in the first place.
Well, yeah.
Not only that, but he's also not fiscally conservative because if you look at all the tariffs he's passing, which makes things more expensive and makes people's it doesn't decrease taxes at all. I mean, he's taxing on imported goods now.
I think. Oh okay. Yeah, I was about to say. Did y'all see on the news a few days ago how the plastic guns being made from the 3D printer? Did y'all see all that?
No.
No.
Yeah, like in Trump, it's like all in for that period. Like now, you can like have your own printable plastic guns now. You know, that's gonna be on the rise soon.
Yeah, I've heard that video from this user. Luckily, like he said, I believe he said it only fires one shot, but you could still kill someone with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow,
that's scary, bro.
A plastic gun, dang.
Yeah, wow. It's like, and it comes from a 3D printer too. Like it instantly prints out these plastic guns. True.
I've heard of 3D printers before. I used to play this game called Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty, and it literally had that stuff. Because how so far future was.
Yeah. Y'all should look it up, and Trump is all in for it too. Yeah, like seriously.
Well, he's gonna fail hard because he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Trump also, like I brought up earlier, how he's putting a lot of tariffs on the imported goods now, including from our allied countries. He's starting this big trade war with China,
and it's trying to be Putin's best friend. You're probably Putin's boyfriend.
Oh my God, Dirty! That is like the funniest.
That's what Trump is. That's what Trump is. He's not only Putin's sidekick. He's technically his B. That's what he is.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh, man,
I'll admit, I actually do agree we do need a better relation with Russia. Like he said, in the 90% of the nuclear power, but I do agree that there is something suspicious about it. That meeting, even Justin Amash, who is a very libertarian representative, said you could be for a good relation with Russia and still see that something isn't right here.
Yeah, you're talking about that secret UN meeting, the
Helsinki meeting.
Yeah, it was it. I'm trying to think. It was UN or NATO. What was it called again?
Well, he met with NATO right before. Then he went to Helsinki to meet with Putin.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I mean, we also had to remember with the G7. Right after he went to the G7, you didn't start the fights with all our allies. He went with Kim Jong-un. He got all with him.
God, this is why I just stay out of politics. I don't want to listen to anything about plastic guns or Trump or Kim Jong-un. It's so negative.
You want to talk about something else?
Hey, Jack.
Politics talk about. They just want to wallow in misery and feel it's like nothing's ever going to get better. I mean, there's just no music or harmony or optimism in the world with the way people act. It's just all this defensive back and forth.
I think it's a shame that this isn't producing a new sort of like 1960s style. So we're experimental. Like people are not expressing their. I mean, I don't know what they're expressing their political views, but
In music, you mean?
yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's more manifested in
you-
television, I think.
Are you mean,
Television and film.
Are you talking about we should have upbeat music?
Well,
Yeah.
I think I just think that I just think that everything is just so stiff, cold, calculating, and defensive. There's just no freedom of thought anymore. Everybody's just afraid of everything.
Yes, everything.
It's just
I
a
brought that
very
up earlier on
toxic
the stream.
zeitgeist.
You can think the SJWs and all right for that.
Yeah, they pretty much pulverized the whole
completely
United
different
States.
from even the way it was 5 years ago. Like also not only because I had a good year the year, but 2013 is the year I'd go back to in a heartbeat. Not only because my personal life was good in the year, but also because a lot of this political stuff didn't exist.
That's
Back
2013 was
Me
when
too.
I remember the political stuff just starting to build up. There was like a lot of heavy-handed discussion about rape culture on college campuses.
Yeah.
And I mean, you still had the filibuster Republicans, but it was still before the alt-right became a
but
thing.
2014 is really when it skyrocketed with the annexation of a Crimea and Ukraine, as well as the rise of ISIS. And,
I think it
all
was
the
more
school
like
shootings.
this. I think it really skyrocketed when Donald Trump announced his president's.
Hey, thank you. Exactly.
I think it happened.
That's when it was right after that the alt-right became a thing, and it was more around then when I suddenly started hearing the term SJW, which
I
I
totally
don't think,
agree with you on that.
Like I never even heard that term
totally.
until like 2016 or something.
Yeah, 2015 was that
I think
transition.
2015 when I first heard that term.
Yeah, I think like 2014.
2015 was the transition of the political atmosphere. I talked about in the 2000s multiple times, but to me, the early influence began with Trayvon Martin and Zimmerman. In my opinion, that was like the early influence of it. I feel like
that was the first really big controversy in that sense. I mean, the gun debate started with Aurora, which was summer 2012. But
and then Sandy Hook came around. Oh yeah, that was a.
And then you had another one with like multiple mass shootings. You had the one in Oregon that happened right before Sandy Hook. You had the one in Wisconsin. Yeah, right around Aurora. So you had like 4 big shootings in 1 year. 2012 was like probably the worst. 2012 is probably the worst year when it comes to mass shootings in the decade so far. The worst, oh my god.
Well,
it got worse.
it got
worse.
I would say 2016 and 17 had the worst shootings. Like,
I mean, because 2012, you had a lot of you had 4 shootings. I remember in the news, hearing the news. I remember being
Aurora was like Aurora was the first mass shooting that was really talked about since Virginia Tech, which was 5 years earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, then, but I think late 2014 for me, I say late 2014 is when the whole political division started. Because when Black Lives Matter started, after the whole, what do you call it, Mike Brown
thing,
the Mike Brown, the Eric Gardner, the police brutality going on in late 2014. That's when you had all this fear of the cops. Like Black people saying, "Man, F these people, man, these cops are ruining our lives," and you see all this. And that's when SJW movement really rose, really became prominent.
I do remember it becoming really prominent around then. Like, I mean, I said just this random thing, because the Bill Cosby scandal was going on at the same time as the Michael Brown incident.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I talked about how I thought it was too bad that a personality who seemed charming and inspirational, like a good example of not all Black people being represented by stereotypes, turning out to be awful. Someone else called me the most racist piece of shit ever for saying, because I mean the reason is because it's not for a white person to state what the image of a Black person should be.
Actually,
but it's just, I mean, it still just felt really out of the blue, and I thought it was a really big example of how much the social climate has changed in more recent years, and how harder it is, how much more easily it is for you to get condemned for saying something that by accident that maybe is misguided, but even if your heart is not in the wrong place.
Oh yeah, this is so true, because it even happens to white people on the left too, not just the right-wing white people. Like, they get called racist too if they say something that offends a black person. And another thing is that,
like Bill Maher, he said the N-word to Ice Cube, and people got mad at him for that.
Yeah. And when it comes to Black Lives Matter, like, if you're outside of the black race, if you have an opinion on Black Lives Matter that's like that's negative or may not be good, you're gonna immediately be called racist automatically. It doesn't matter
how open-minded you are, because like Stack, what's his name? He's like a metalhead YouTuber, Stackenhammer 666. I forgot his name. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with that YouTuber. Yeah, he's against Black Lives Matter, but he's like very like libertarian, very progressive on things.
Also, Lil Wayne said he didn't support Black Lives Matter,
and people got mad at Lil Wayne. People saying Lil Wayne's a coon and stuff like that.
Lil Wayne does not look at race. He said that before. I remember one of the other streams you did, and Mario, you did this stream. I think it was that white dude who was one of your friends. He said that when he heard
Evan.
Yeah, he brought that up. He was like, when he heard about what Lil Wayne said about how he does look at race, he said his perspective on Lil Wayne totally changed. Like, I remember he brought that up on that stream.
Because Lil Wayne is one of those guys, like, he really did a lot for like black culture. I mean, like hip hop, like he made the dread, like he really put the dreads, like the style, like mainstream. He made skateboarding kind of cool with black guys. He used hip hop and like rock. Maybe he made he did a lot so much for like black culture.
He made skateboarding cool for black people.
I mean, he had his own skating commercial.
I have got to laugh. I had never thought
he has those skating commercials.
He would be one of those. I never thought he would be the forefront for skateboarding. Like, that's so funny.
I mean, he was.
Oh wow! I never thought.
He also made dreadlocks popular in Rapture.
I mean, dreads were kind of really popular but like.
They were popular before that. Like Lil Jon, for example, had dreads.
Lil Jon, you had like rappers from the '90s who had dreads, like like Busta Rhymes,
Yeah, Busta Rhymes very, very famous for his dreads.
Yeah, but I think at least he made the gold teeth for dreads and gold teeth style, like and then like you see in the Southeast. That style popular. I know that for sure. The dread gold teeth, style you see a lot.
By the way, 10 more minutes for this stream.
Yeah, but like
because I do have to be up at 4 a.m. tomorrow, so 10 more minutes for the stream.
You got work at 4 a.m.
Dang,
I have to be at 4 a.m.
Oh fuck.
Oh yeah, but what Jacqueline just joined us. Yeah, what's your
We can still stay on the stream. It just won't be live.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Since you just joined us, man, like, cause we talked about a lot of things before you came. We was gonna talk about like earlier was like how like the internet has impacted our lives before before like in the part one, because part one was about like the internet and stuff like that. Like how would you say the internet has impacted, how much the internet has like, impacted your life personally? Like, we saw on the internet, like, social media and stuff, like how much it impacted our lives, since we all like,
I mean, it's something that you really have to moderate on a social level. Like, you can't be overly obsessed with it especially if you have a lot of insecurities that you haven't figured out yet. But it can be useful for business or just connecting with people globally.
Yeah, that's true. Because I look at doing these streams, I'm like, dang, we live all different states. We all Cause I remember me, Rainbow, and you was like, man, we'd love to visit, California, and then Nori kept saying, we want to visit Florida, and I was like, wow, it's like how interesting how we all connected, even though we all live in different parts of the U.S. It's kind of fun, So
You
yeah,
know,
I
I think.
think
See, yeah, another thing we brought up is that, I mean, we didn't debate this too much, but I asked the question: is the internet changing a human sexuality?
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, certainly it could affect how people explore their sexuality. I mean, you have questions, you have interesting points and questions raised in a lot of movies from this decade, such as Her by Spike Jonze, and also there's this independent movie, Boy Meets Girl, that
gosh.
really talks about just the complexities of human sexuality.
Oh yeah, but this one thing I want to kind of. Oh, Nerdy Game left. Oh, Nerdy Game still there, right? Nerdy.
Huh? What? I'm still here.
Okay, good. 'Cause I want to get. Well, I want to get you guys. Since you made this thread a while back with the twerking thread, when you first heard the word twerking, like when you first started noticing it, uh, yeah, I kind of want to like talk about that because I feel like because that was an interesting thread. Nerdy Game started. It was interesting because
Oh yeah.
he's watching a Tyler Perry movie and they was
Well,
talking about
the thread wasn't really about when twerking started,
It was
even
like
though
once you
it got to that debate. But the actual question was about, was that dance associated with Gen Z or millennials, practically?
Yeah, because the peak in popularity for twerking was the 2013 and 2014 school year. You know,
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be more for like the YZ cuspers, like, rather than just being like
2014 was like the year of the booty.
Yeah,
Like,
What
who
year
was
was
that?
the
song
what year
called
was the year of the
Booty.
booty?
2014.
And there was the song Wiggle by Jason Derulo.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Wicca
What
Wicca
year
Wicca
though?
too.
Yeah, it's
But what year?
2014. I say this out of
What
now.
year though?
2014 was the cheesiest year probably of the 10s for music.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah,
And
definitely.
Then you had Timber by Pitbull and Kesha. Like
That
that
song was
song I thought
annoying.
was sort of fun at first, but now it really kind of annoys me.
Yeah,
Yeah, you also
exactly.
Happy by Pharrell.
Oh yeah, that's like
That's
probably
actually a pretty decent song.
that's like probably
Yeah, I
like the
like
most
Happy. That song actually does hold up.
that's like the
He
most
also had
remembered
All
song
About
of that year.
and
That's
then
like
you
the
had
most
that one,
remembered.
and then you had that one song by Pitbull. I don't know the title, but I heard it. But it was like a dance song too.
He also
mean,
had Shake It Off.
Timber. I mentioned Timber, but
Well, not just Timber, but he had another song by himself that he also had. But it was a dance song that came out later in the year, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, what you guys but yeah, like when you first started noticing the like twerking culture, like I mean, I know
well, I
Rainbow and
thought
Dre.
that was 2013 with
Yes,
Yeah,
Miley
same
Cyrus.
for me.
2013 was the year I noticed it mainstreamly, even though I had known about it a year earlier, thanks to like my cousin.
Yeah, I know
Yeah, the video that
Good
pretty
people.
much popularized it was Miley Cyrus's "We Can't Stop."
Yeah, I mean, I knew about it before 2013 because, like, again, I listen, like, again, I live in the South, where I live at, twerking I live in a region where twerking is like, or it's already a thing.
And then I also heard, not only heard it in songs, but yeah, I saw my cousin.
Yeah, exactly. I know Rick Ross said
doing that movie. They
what you
did that
twerking
stuff.
with.
Yeah.
I know he said what you twerking with, something like that. Don't stop.
Well, not
don't
just
stop.
that song, but you also had like songs like Red Nose, Gas Pedal, the Cat Daddy, whatever, all that stuff. That many people practically just twerk.
Yeah, so I knew about twerking before that, but like it was definitely again a thing. I guess for you guys, because you guys, like for me and QG, since we live in the southeast, we kind of like were supposed to much earlier than you guys. But I know some, but twerking, not a slang word. You also mentioned like slang words from that. Like we mentioned like the word swag, how overused that word was in the early 10s. That word was
or not just in the early 10s, but also the late 2000s. Because, but I heard that word earlier than that, thanks to Soulja Boy's "Turn My Swag On." That was actually the song that I heard that word, not Pretty Boy Swag.
I mean, I
Even
heard
though-
that song. The first time I heard the word swag, I think it was Swag Like Us with T.I. and
Yeah,
Rihanna.
that song too. It was both of those songs practically introduced that word to the mainstream.
Yeah, and also the word. We also mentioned the word donk. That word was
Don't,
only
yeah, that was
used-
Soulja Boy too.
Yeah, like she got a donk, like, like yeah. But yeah, I guess like a slang. I guess like most of the slang words you use now are either come from like the South, like Atlanta, or like New York.
Yeah.
Like the word
What
lit is
Yeah.
originally New
What
York.
about the? Wait, you said lit, right?
Yeah.
What about the word ratchet?
Oh yeah, I remember that word. I heard that word in 2011 by World
Yeah,
Star Hip Hop.
2011, 12 was like the first time I heard it, and it was due to these two guys. Like they had made this song called "She Ratchet," and it was.
Oh
like,
yeah,
so
it was a
funny.
World Star Hip Hop. It was like two gay
Yeah, it
dudes,
was like so funny. Like my mom, not even like even my mom, like was like watching it, and she was just laughing so hard.
Your mom watched World Star Hip Hop, or she following?
No, I don't think she was watching. I don't think she was watching it on her World Star Hip Hop. I think she was watching that on YouTube.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, but it was like so funny though.
Yeah, the word "bay" got big in this decade. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bay.
By the way,
You know, every time my cousin practically said that, like she kept saying that all the time, like to her BF, she kept saying Bay, oh Bay, like I can't
Yeah,
hear
all those
that.
words that we use, all those words.
And not only that, but another word that was constantly being used throughout this whole decade, even though I don't really hear it much now, I don't think was the word thought.
Oh yeah, like all those words.
By the way, one last topic to talk about because
Like
I
the
mentioned
word,
that
the word thought. That's I mean, I'm not sure if it's practically like black slang, but to me, it seems like half those words are more likely confined to Generation Z because I don't really hear many millennials actually saying that stuff.
Yeah, I remember my teacher, my teacher who was a millennial, my English, my 12th grade English teacher was saying, "What's thought means?" And like everybody was laughing, and she was like born in '87, and the whole class was laughing too. It was like wow. So it just shows like all these Gen Z.
But by the way, I want to bring this in because it's almost a. So I mentioned before that. 4 a.m. I want to bring up a little odd topic. What do you guys consider the boundary between a stay up late time and wake up time?
So how long?
What do you associate more with the times people usually be staying up and times people usually be waking up?
I think most people wake up around 9 or 10, sometimes 8 o'clock.
Like I said, the next bag would be about 4 or 5.
Oh.
Because 3 a.m. and before, I associate more with people staying up late and yelling at people on Xbox Live.
Right.
At 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
Because-
hour of 4 a.m., that's pretty much the transition, I would say. I mean, a lot of it depends on whether you're a night owl or an early bird. I mean, for me, my day job requires me to be at work at 7 o'clock, so I wake up at 6:15 a.m. every morning.
Oh, really?
But sometimes I'll stay up really late at night and just have like a nap after work. So it's kind of vague. Just depends on what kind of person you are.
Yeah, I think 3
for
a.m.
me, I've been an early bird like so much that I actually woke up at this time of where I woke up at midnight or woke up at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Same here.
I think 3 a.m. before is definitely more where people are staying up.
Yeah.
4 and 5 a.m. is sort of like a mixed bag, and 6 a.m. is definitely where it becomes a more
You wake up.
where more people are because that's halfway to noon.
And then because that's when the sun usually rises up for like a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, nerdy. I just sent you the link to Chris Rock, the speech I was talking about from the movie Head of State.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Oh man.
And I want to say, even though the live stream is ending, do you guys still want use to hang up for anything else? I mean, we could still.
Yeah, we could. Like, I definitely.
I don't have anything.
You're already
planned for the rest of the
about
day.
to end this.
Yeah,